And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the MindCep podcast. This is your host, Alex Muir, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. In today's episode 121, we're welcoming back special guest Elke Scholz for episode 121. And we had our last interview would have been July, end of July of 2023. So it's been a while. So again, Elke Scholz is a registered psychotherapist, certified MDR therapist, registered expressive arts consultant and educator, an award-winning author of Loving Your Life and Anxiety Warrior series. Elke, welcome back to the MindCep podcast. Happy to have you back on the show. Super
Thank
stoked
you.
to have you here, and let's dive right in. What's
Yeah.
what's 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 new with you? I know it's been a while since we've interacted last, but I really appreciate you reaching back out to me. I love having repeat guests on, and just again with your background, I love to have people on in the mental health space. I love having therapists on, psychotherapists, psychologists, because the world we live in, it's changed. And no matter what generation you're living in, whether you're a millennial, Gen Xer, Gen Z, we all have our different challenges. And like I like to kind of know like how have things been for you since we last spoke? Like what's changed and kind of what's some challenges that are maybe new challenges that you're like, whoa, like I'm still learning how to navigate this.
Well, yeah, 100% we all are. And as I was saying earlier, just because I'm here and a psychotherapist doesn't mean I'm not immune to this chaos and this uncertainty. And so I am a creative. I'll continue creating. I get inspired. And so I had a big inspiration last year to do an audio series based on my book and my experience. And it's part of a brain fitness app. However, it's also available if you have a Spotify subscription. So you can have it there for free. It doesn't have all the cool brain app stuff, but it definitely has the language, and people have been using it and enjoying it. And I've been building up my YouTube and still doing lots of talks, kind of revving that up again because people really need it. And I'm really excited about energy. And how you asked a really good question is how to navigate this. How can we tweak this? And as you're living in your body, I'm not, right? So listeners, like, you're there 24/7. You've been there. So trusting your body is your best barometer.
Have you ever
So
heard of that book? I was actually recommended it to read it by my own therapist. It's called Your Body Keeps Score. Have you ever heard of that one?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because
yes.
I feel like another big thing that people sometimes maybe have challenges with, or they're still learning how to navigate, is listening to your body and listening to your mind because they're both very interconnected. And something that I've noticed is like when my body is, yeah, like when I'm feeling that stress, right? You start to get the aches in your muscles, your muscles tensing up. So it's like, so anytime I feel that way, I'm like, okay, I either need to meditate or I need to go and exercise. And then once I've done that, then when I'm still feeling that way, then I'm like, okay, maybe there's something deeper that I can't quite pinpoint. And that's kind of the way
Yep.
I've been feeling this week. It's like I've been doing all the things. I've been doing my daily meditation, half an hour a day. I've been exercising every day. It's either the bare minimum is a walk. Like me and my wife, we walk the dog every day, like minimum half an hour. And then maybe even less, like 25 minutes if we're just feeling really flat. But for whatever reason, I woke up this week and I was just like, I was just feeling flat energy wise, right? Like I always, like you said, listen to your energy. And I was like, what's going on? So maybe I need to have another therapy session because there was a few things that happened that normally I do a therapy session once a month, but our dog got attacked by a pit bull. This happened like a couple
Mhm.
months ago, and again, the meditation's been helping immensely with kind of navigating those emotions and not letting those emotions like sit. So I've been kind of
Yep.
feeling those emotions, but trying to navigate them the best way possible because it was a shock, right? Like you said, like we go
Right.
through these different things and then our that we're not expecting, and we're like, whoa, like okay, I don't really know how to handle that. So it's just yeah, like maybe another therapy session is needed because I haven't had one in a few months, but still it's just it's interesting to again like listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, and because
Yeah.
our bodies know like when we need extra time or extra therapy or maybe extra time in nature.
100%. And one of the things, and we can talk about some strategies, and you mentioned one about really listening to your body and noticing, right? Noticing how you're feeling. And so much of our culture is, happy, happy, make it go away. Just want the good stuff. We don't want to sit in the unpleasant because there's this connotation of that we're failing or we're doing something wrong, which is not true. We
Yeah.
have a full spectrum of human emotion and feeling and sensation. So, what you said is like first sit in it. Just really have this feeling, whether it's anxiety or maybe it's anger or some kind of reaction or a flare up, and just kind of go, okay, honor yourself. And the other thing that people tend to do is compare,
Mm,
and we don't need to compare because you and I and maybe three other people, we could be in a situation, we'll all have a different experience and we'll all feel differently. None of us are right or wrong. It just is. So if we can accept that we're going to feel it, it's going to naturally move. So, and you've probably heard this, is that emotion is energy in motion. And,
yeah.
to once you acknowledge it, and I love what you said, we don't have to sit in it. And that
Yeah.
is true. We do have to acknowledge it, feel it. And usually when people do that, even in my office, it starts to diminish.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed except that we acknowledged and we listened. And like you said, you can maybe you need physical exercise, maybe you need some water, maybe you need to eat. And I do that too. It's like that little checklist, right? And then sitting and going, okay, is there something else going on? Is there something that is, um, upsetting me? And it even could be a weather system, you know. I have a tenant, and both her and I, which is very rare, we had a restless sleep, and it's interesting that we both did. And so to me, I'm going, maybe it's weather related because we had a great day yesterday. She has a different job and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's really listening. So that's one big strategy.
Yeah, and like day to day, like nowadays for your routine, like kind of when you wake up, when you go to bed, is that all staying pretty fixed, or are you fluid with it when some weeks are just chaotic? Like that's another thing too. Feel like people have a lot of challenges with is like, okay, when they're like they've got things dialed in, they've got their routine, they go to bed, whatever, 10:30, wake up at 6:30 or 7. They train at a certain time, they meditate at a certain time, but sometimes some weeks are so chaotic, like that gets flipped upside down. So what do you say to people when they're like, "Oh my God," like because for myself, I get anchored to my routine. I need a routine. I thrive on discipline. I thrive on a routine. When I don't have a routine, that's when it's chaotic. It's more feels things feel more chaotic. They're not organized. They're disorderly. So how do you
So yeah,
help?
so I think we all like that certainty. Like
Yeah.
in this uncertain world, in this chaotic world, which has always been chaotic,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
now that we see it more, we do like certainty. So our daily routine is our certainty. And so what I say to people, and I do this myself, is I have my minimum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that too. So I have actually a very lengthy daily practice. So from wake up to finish is usually 2 hours.
Wow.
And I love it. Well, that includes my exercise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then that can also expand to more vigorous exercise, so cycling and long distance cycling. However, when, there may be a day, and I do give myself, if I have to take a day off, like last week, I needed to travel very early, get up super early, be packed, go on the road by 6 a.m. So I just went, okay, I'll still do my gratitude. I'm still going to do that meditation piece. However, I'm going to exercise when I get there because it was a dance camp. So, I made it smaller. And, you said something really important too, is we need that anchor, because if I don't have that, and it's very rare, I've taken my gratitude journal to the airport, and I didn't feel right until I did that piece. And so we get into this habit, and it's a beautiful habit because we need to feed ourselves. We need to anchor ourselves. And and it doesn't mean you have to do it my way or your way. You've got to find a way that you feed your spiritual body, and so you can navigate um, the world, people, relationships. And when we do that, we come to it much calmer. We still may have, reactions or boundaries or whatever. However, we can come more solid.
Yeah, I love that. And something that I've noticed, because right now I use the Oak app to meditate. I don't know if you've heard of that one. So it's a free app. I was using Headspace for a couple of years when I first started meditating, but then I got off of Headspace because then they started charging like whatever, 10 or 20 bucks a month US. So I was like, nah, there's more free apps. I'll look into them. So then I found
Okay.
Oak, and it was made by a guy that's friends with Tim Ferriss. I forget the guy's name, but it's like a group of people that were I think he was co-founder of Crunch or something like that, like this online blog
Okay.
talking about tech. And so they made this app, and it's got guided meditations, it's got unguided meditations, and right now I'm on like a 33-day streak, and I'm trying to, because my best was like 50 days in a row, almost 2 months in a row. So, and I noticed the difference, like you said, like it's part of the routine, and when I don't do it, I feel like my emotions are more scattered, or I'm more like reactionary. Like I'll like, because meditation is so helpful because of the delay and of the onset of when you receive whatever the information you're receiving to like when I react, it just delays it just a split second more. So I'm much more patient, and you need a lot more patience today. So with
Yeah.
the meditation or journaling or whatever, like whatever works for people, I've just like it's gotten so anchored for me that like I go into the day, and no matter what happens, and no matter how much chaos there is, I can handle it. I'm like I can handle it better because
100%.
right, it's
Yeah.
creating emotional agility, emotional flexibility.
Right. And one of the terms that I've been hearing in the last few years is brain health. And, we talk about mental health. And what I like about brain health and brain fitness, so, you know, if we want to go to the gym, we go once. We're not going to expect a toned body, right? And so what we're inviting our listeners is we need to keep our brain fit.
Yeah,
So part of that is repetition. So it doesn't mean something's wrong. It doesn't mean you're not getting it. We need those reps. We need the practice. The brain needs it. And so when I heard that language, I went, yeah, like there's nothing wrong. And so what happens when you have this daily practice, you're exercising your brain. And of course, your brain can function so much better. And the cool thing too is the brain does not ever shut off.
yeah,
Never.
yeah.
So a lot of people think, oh, if I'm not sleeping or, oh, I'm not meditating well. Well, we've got to relax because they call it now the other than conscious mind. And there's about maybe three of them so far. And I'm going to a brain camp in a month. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, a lot of sort of the top science, biohacking, and everything. So, we need to keep that brain fit. So that could be your meditation. It could be that walk in nature, exercise, the oxygen, getting oxygen to your brain. I'm just staggered how many people don't work out and they
Yeah,
don't exercise. And however you want to do it, make it fun, so that you end up doing it. We need that. The
yeah,
brain needs that blood flow.
yeah.
And I mean, you know it too. When you don't do it, we're more sluggish and we
And
don't
more
learn.
irritable.
Yeah, and when we have that brain flow, we're more vital, we're vibrant, our skin's healthier. I mean, there's so much to that, right? So brain fitness, that we could even talk about that next time if you want to. So yeah.
There was a book that I had my eye on in the grocery store, and it's got a giant brain on it with like a lightning bolt to the brain, and I was immediately drawn to it because dementia and Alzheimer's runs in my family. It's on my mom's
Mm,
side. It was on my dad's side. So I'm a little obsessed when it comes to brain health and longevity. And that's kind of how my mind has transitioned. Because in my 20s, I was all about I need to be as fit as possible, as jacked as possible, as strong as possible. But then as soon as I hit age 28, so I'm 32 now, then all of a sudden my mind transitioned like, why do I even, that's just all ego and, trying to build this shell and this suit of armor, which is great. I built the foundation, but my mind transitioned. I was like, you know what? None of that matters if I die early. I need to lengthen like quality of life, like health span and then
yeah,
lifespan, right? Long, how long I'll be around. So, because then I
right.
started listening to people that are like in their 90s, their 80s, their 70s, their 60s, late 50s even. And then I was watching videos on like kind of like, okay, what do they eat? How do they train, right? And a lot of it, number one is walking. They walk every single day. A lot of times 45 minutes to an hour a day. So on my days off, like I got a day off today. So anytime I have a day off and I look at my emails and I'm like, okay, maybe I can do a podcast today because when I create something, I was trying to make the transition as well from consuming, so consumption to creation. So everyone consumes a certain amount, right? Food, digital media, internet, whatever. But I find the more that I create, the more peaceful I become, the more calm I become. And then couple that with meditation,
Yeah,
getting out in nature, exercising daily, and then the nutrition and sleep, like all like basic. Once the basic needs are met, then I have to create too, and it just fuels me so much. And then I show up like I'm on fire, like the next day, right? Because I feel like I provided something of value to the world.
right.
It's not
And
that
I
doesn't necessarily have to be monetary or anything. It's just like a little morsel of Alex that's out there into the world that's like you might find value in this.
100%. And I'm the same. I get excited, and that's why I reached out to you because I know we had a good connection.
Absolutely.
And
And you're
if
Canadian too.
and yes, and if people get something, some value from this, then it's a great day. And I believe that. And this is so interesting. You mentioned Alzheimer's and dementia. And the other thing you mentioned is this total health. So yes, we like health is wholesome, it's holistic. So it's not just one thing. And when you look at longevity, and the latest that I heard was from a longevity doctor and a clinic. She says we can live to 180 well. So I always thought
Wow.
100, 127, but I've upped that now to 150.
Holy
And then I
smokes.
texted one of my friends. I said, I need company. She goes, yeah, I'm in. I'm 147 because she's into this. So the thing is, this quality of life, and you're right about that. And we have this opportunity, and the opportunity is also our positivity. So you talked about the body mind connection. So if we got pain, if I've had pain in my shoulder, and my chiropractor said this is not an injury, and I said I know, and I had figured out what it was, and once that thing was gone, instant, the pain was gone. And I've seen my own clinic when we've healed something, healed a hurt or a trauma, it's over. Whether it was a migraine, backache, issues, skin, like a gamut of things. And I'm not ignoring, any other things, but the stats are out there that 90 to 95% of illnesses is caused from disease, and that's Mayo, CDC, Harvard, Yale. Not you and I saying this out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
So, and dementia, and I've worked with a lot of seniors, blood flow.
Hmm.
You've got to have that blood flow, also that good diet, the exercise, the mental health. And we don't need to have dementia. We've got to exercise our brain. And there's now biohacks out there that are reversing um, dementia and Alzheimer's actually as well. So you want to, do some research about that. And I can send you some links of some of the brain camp stuff I'm doing next month.
Where are these brain camps? Are these in the US? Are they in Canada, like East Coast
Well,
or?
it actually, this one is Dr. Patrick Porter, and he came out with a brain fitness app. He came out of retirement. His background, this is so cool. his background, he was a little boy and his dad worked for Jose Silva. So the Silva
Whoa.
method, I know. So I'm so excited. I get to meet Dr. Porter at the end of July.
Wow.
Uh, I'm really excited. And he actually, one of his basic studies, the first ones on his app was with Alzheimer's people and the
Wow.
benefits that they got. And so we don't have to be afraid of these things. And you know what's so interesting, Alex? You asked me too, how I'm doing. Like my health is spectacular. Like I'm healthier actually than my kids. And I'm not going to tell you my age, but I do get seniors discounts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
My skin is incredible. I have a great muscle tone. I'm strong. I mean, I can shovel, I can keep up in the garden. I cycle long distance, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to say, all I'm trying to say is that I've had mentors too that in their 90s that were
Wow.
fit, right? And they swam every day, or I knew a set of twins. They chopped wood and ran a farm. We can keep most of our health. And my own chiropractor actually helped me train. So I think since I talked to you, I actually cycled 104K as for a fundraiser.
Holy smokes.
And he was helping me. He was kind of an informal, not formally, but he said, Elka, you can increase your strength. And that excited me. I went, seriously? And so I set that as my goal. It took me 2 years to get up there.
Yeah.
And then I had some friends that cycled with me to make sure, like just to accompany me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sore. I wasn't
Wow.
tired. I came home and I just went, wow, like my body rocks. And we all have this. And
Yeah.
so one of the things I do is I do give talks on how do we access this energy that we have,
Yeah.
like passion, this vivive that, it isn't found in an energy drink.
No, it's within us. And I actually had a podcast interview with another guy not too long ago. He worked like with 20th Century Fox, what was it, DreamWorks, like big production companies in LA. And then he made this like app for remote work and how to manage remote teams because working in Hollywood nowadays, especially like you're managing a lot of like, and I think he was in visual arts or like something like the like big, right, like with the production of the movies and stuff. And yeah, he was saying yeah, he was talking about like we were talking about like longevity and stuff like that, and how important it is to find your passion. And he says sometimes it's just certain events in our life could be chaos or could be just absolute clarity that we all of a sudden get, but that gets brought to the surface. And he says it's like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of like when that will get brought out. And when it does
Yeah,
get brought out, it's an insane amount of energy. Then
right. And you want to listen to it. So
yeah,
I learned about it in my 20s, and the Greek call it a thunderbolt. So
hmm,
some people recognize that and they say you got to listen to a thunderbolt. And I've had a few, and every time I did listen, it turned out phenomenal. So
yeah,
I don't know where that comes from. It's just passion, and that's how this brain app came. Like, if you would have said 10 years ago I would do an audio series, I'd go, oh, okay, I wouldn't have even. But as soon as I used this app, I had a thunderbolt. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have the app on there. And it took me a couple tries. I got turned the first time. And I went, no, there's got to be a reason. So I went again, worked with the company, and then they said yes. And it was like a fever. And this fever, and I don't mean it in a negative way, I just was obsessed. I
yeah,
I had script, and any spare moment I was writing, and the script just flowed. I mean, sure, did I edit it? Did I, look at it? And then magic happened. Just magic is I found this production guy that produces major rock stars and stuff, and he doesn't live far from me. And he says, "Oh, you have to come in person." I said, "I'm coming. And he did this, and he made it incredible. It was just, yeah, it's just such a great story. And he actually said he was inspired, and he said, he got the inspiration to help me. So that
Wow.
was because it's important work. So what happens is when we have this passion, it's like the world and other people line up to
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
And you're right. And we all have it. And I talk about it. And I just say one of the examples is, here in Muskoka, I don't know how far you are from an airport, but we have to go 3 hours. We have to, be early and we have to get up in the middle of the night. Well, everybody does it and they're awake and they're excited. And it isn't because they ate differently. It isn't because their bank account's different or something happened, is they're excited for the trip,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So there's a little glimpse of that this excitement is in us.
Yeah.
And yet, if we're oppressed or sad or, even angry, and the better I feel, if something reacts or I get triggered, I just go, you know what, I'm not doing that because I want to be in this other space
Yeah.
and sort it out as quick as I can, because of the energy, because energy is everything, and
Yeah.
it's your life force, your Faviv.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, because like I feel like the last few years, I've just been obsessed with building an income online, building my brand online, and it's all starting to flow. It's taken
nice.
5 years of grinding. Like, sometimes I'd have weeks where I get burnt out. Like this week, I felt a little bit burnt out, but I'm okay. No, my body's telling me I need a break, right? Podcast gives me energy, fills up my cup, so I'm going to do a podcast today. And then but I needed like 2 days off, right? And I was just like, got to listen to the body. I just told my wife because she knows how passionate I am about this, about the podcast, and then I'm studying to become a personal trainer. I've always wanted to do it. I don't know why I
Nice.
didn't do it earlier, but hey, I'm doing it now. And one of the key stats that they said in my text was, I think it's in Canada. It's like either 15 or 25,000 people a year in Canada die just from being sedentary and personal lifestyle choices, not exercising enough, not eating enough, just not moving enough. So it's
Yeah.
completely preventable, right? And then they
Yeah,
get
it is.
and then they get all of these ailments, diabetes, potentially, yeah, brain related, Alzheimer's, dementia, just
Well,
from not yeah.
when the brain isn't healthy, so
Yeah.
here, let's go the other way. When the brain is healthy,
Yeah.
and it can produce, and this is what they can prove now. So 30 years ago, they couldn't prove these things. It was a suppose, and it was a belief. So you've got these doctors that have been in the field 30, 40 years. Well, in the last 20 years, now we have the equipment, we've got the science, we can scan. So the brain can produce over 30,000 substances to naturally heal the body.
Wow.
So, yeah, so the contrast, I just had an experience of somebody, well, anyways, their brain was deteriorating. And so what was happening, they got all these illnesses and eventually died from the illnesses because the brain couldn't heal the body anymore. So, we're seeing this at micro levels and macro levels, and depression is high, anxiety is high, and that's why you and I are doing this work.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
write books. That's why I do the audio, because we're just one person. And, if we can get somebody excited, even to do some more research or to
Yeah.
contact us, I know that I'm just so free with giving information and helping. And that's why I do what I do. I mean, I get paid, and I'm very blessed, and I believe in that too. So yeah,
Yeah, it's incredible, and I loved having you on the MindCep show again, Elka, and would love to have you on again in the near future. And where can our listeners find you, connect with you, get to know you? I would love to. So this audio series, is it like guided meditations, or is it just related to your books?
Well, if you're on Spotify,
Yeah.
if you Google my name, and
Yeah.
I don't know if in our thing my name is coming up, or if you put it up there, you can Google my or search my name and Loving Your Life,
Yeah.
and or it'll come up on Spotify, and it'll have track one, track two, all the way to 10. And CD Baby actually has distributed it worldwide, so it's on every audio platform you can get it. And it's free. I'm not asking people to pay for it, so they can get it that way. On my website, I have so many interviews, and our interview will be promoted there. And then I also have a YouTube channel, and I'm building that too with some of the talks I'm doing. I'm inspired, and I'm going, why am I not recording this and putting it on YouTube? So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, so again, hoping, and people are starting to listen, and they're saying it's helping, you know. So that's
Takes time, and but I love, like, you put out enough volume of content and you're gonna get found. It's just it's science. It's it takes time, but I'm telling you, it once it starts to snowball, it starts to snowball.
Well, I get excited by it. I was just asked to open a wellness conference. And at first, I got so surprised because I only had a week's notice. And then I went, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. So I said yes. And I went to the conference to open, and the internet dropped out. It's so
Oh,
noisy because there were so many people, and the
yeah.
setting. And I said to the facilitator, so we just did what we could. And I said, you know what? Why don't I go home and I will record it quietly?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he was thrilled with it. I was excited because I was excited about the talk, and it's
Yeah.
about energy, like the
Yeah.
what you and I are talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Follow your
So
energy.
yeah, so she's happy, and she's going to promote it to the group so people will be able to access it, and so that makes me happy, and then I get excited, and I'm going, okay, I'm going to do another one.
Yeah, yeah, totally. But yeah, let's reconnect again in the near future, and would love to hear about this brain camp that you go to, like any emerging science, technology that people are using to maybe battle kind of like ailments like dementia, Alzheimer, prevent Alzheimer's, dementia from lifestyle choices, diet,
100%.
exercise. Like I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff. So pleasure
Me
having you on
too.
the MindCep podcast, and I would love to reconnect with you in the near future.
Thank you.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Mindset, where we empower your mind, body, and soul. Already a subscriber? Dive deeper. Check out more videos on the channel. New here? Hit that subscribe button and join the journey. Looking to level up your recovery? Download my free Ice Bath Mastery freebie guide. Link in the description of all my videos or reels. Plus, explore my affiliate links in the description of all videos and reels below to start building your brand and business today.